Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports being brought to you by Ford. We are local. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. By AM/PM, too much good stuff. And by the Emerald Queen Casino, welcoming 5-time Grammy winner and country superstar Winona and the Big Noise, July 18th. The tickets go to emeraldqueen.com. Welcome back, everybody, as we continue along with the pre-game show. Rangers in town. They were in first place about a month ago. They have fallen down to fourth place, a couple of games behind the Mariners. We take a look at what's going on in the standings in the American League. Westos Athletics with a plus 132 run differential.
Yeah, I think you look at the Athletics, they're way out in front, but you still have the Angels. They are right in your sights, right in front of you. That's what you're looking at. And to do that, you have to take care of the Rangers. Rangers, a couple of games behind the Mariners. They are hurt. They have a lot of guys on the DL. They have struggled at times this year. I think that you want to get after them in this series, and you're not going to see Darvish. I think you really need to go out and win this series, and it starts tonight with your best going with Felix Hernandez.
Absolutely. A little lift last night for the Mariners with Logan Morrison hitting a home run his first as a Mariner. Talk about an opportunity for this young man.
Well, it is with smoke going on the DL. Morrison comes off the disabled list. He had 18 games in Tacoma where he swung the bat well, and then he comes in his second start, 2 for 4 last night with a home run, his first home run as a Mariner, and then he hits a double later into the corner. So if he can provide some pop in the lineup for the Mariners, drive in some runs for them, that would be a huge lift while smoke is on the DL.
So the Rangers, in their second visit here to Seattle, ready for action. The Mariners are 4-5 against Ron Washington's ball club so far this season, and we're coming up on first pitch. And Edgar Martinez, Lloyd McClendon joked the other day, he asked Edgar, Jr., and Jay Buhner, you got any ABs left in you? They turned them down. Doggone it. In the spirit of those three gentlemen, the Mariners are going to tee it up against the Rangers. The Mariners and the Rangers' first pitch, straight ahead. It might be Friday the 13th under cloudy skies in Seattle, but the big wheel keeps on turning and the King's Court is in session. Why not? You've got one of the hottest pitchers in baseball taking the mound tonight. We speak of Mr. Felix Hernandez. He'll be leading the Seattle Mariners against the Texas Rangers. As we welcome you to Root Sports telecast this evening from Seattle, Washington, Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, and Root Sports crew as you look at Felix Hernandez with a record of 8-1, a 2.39, and his court in session. Look at all those folks in their gold-yellow T-shirts, ready to watch him go to work against Michael Choice, leading off for the Rangers. First pitch inside. A comfortable 60 degrees under very cloudy skies. Last night we had to use the roof. Wind northeast at 3. And a strike called there by Quinn Walcott. He's got balls and strikes today. Alfonso Marquez at first, Phil Cuzzi at second, and Jerry Davis, the crew chief, at third. Breaking ball for a strike, 1-2. Michael Choice, a 199 hitter. 6 homers, 24 runs batted in. Felix third in the American League in strikeouts, behind David Price and Max Scherzer, actually tied for second with Scherzer at 106. Bouncing ball cut off nicely by Seager. One away.
Fine play by Kyle Seager. We'll take a look at the rest of the lineup for Ron Washington and the Rangers. Following choice be the talented shortstop Elvis Andrus hitting second, Chu third. Then it's Beltre. He's been a hot hitter hitting cleanup. Rios, you can see what he's done in his last 8 games. .433 average for Rios. Want to be careful with him. Snyder, Chirinos, Martin, and Odor rounding out the 9 for the Rangers. Dave mentioned Felix having an outstanding season. In fact, I think his numbers overall are ahead of the numbers that he had in his Cy Young Award season in 2010. A 2.39 ERA, 8-1 record, 106 strikeouts, only 17 walks on the year for Felix.
Sharply hit into the gap by Elvis Andrus. Jones gets it back in. Big aggressive turn by Andrus and just get back safely. We've seen Cano do that a lot. Cano tried to get him as he was getting back to first base.
First pitch fastball, 93 miles an hour. A couple of good plays here. Jones in center field was able to cut it off, and you see Cano throwing it back behind Andrus. He knows he's going to make a wide turn.
Cano with such a subtle delivery, and then snap, that whip cracks and the ball comes through. He can really throw it so accurate with it as well. Here's Shin-Soo Choo. 20 guys on the disabled list for the Texas Rangers. Shin-Soo Choo in his perfect world would like to be the leadoff man, and Ron Washington said, dude, you got to bat third.
Yeah, Ron Washington would like that too, but he has to. Fielder on the disabled list.
And it's a who's who on the DL.
Yeah, they're missing a number of guys, and so you would hope that would certainly help Felix out. Felix pitched against the Rangers earlier this year. He went 7 innings, had just 1 earned run in that outing. He had 9 strikeouts, so he's been on quite the run in his last 5 outings. Only 6 earned runs for Felix. He's had everything working for him. I like the fact that he's already thrown over to first base. Keep Andrus close. When you look at the Rangers, different looking club. They are 4th in stolen bases and 1st in sacrifice bunting. So they're going to try to manufacture some runs. They are also 2nd in average and 6th in runs scored. But how about 14th in home runs?
Who knew?
Yeah, that's hard to believe.
It really is. The Mariners have 51 home runs. Texas 44. Far cry from the team that was in a World Series in 2011 and 2010. Morrison over to Miller. Felix covering. Well, oh! Almost got him. Good hustle by Chu down the line. 2 outs.
Chu has good speed. It looks like a good throw. It is. Miller wasn't able to get a lot on that throw. It was a good play by Felix. He was there in plenty of time, but with Andrus right on top of Miller, he couldn't get enough on the throw to finish the double play. In our McDonald's Super Mode, Chu was safe at first.
There's Adrian Beltre, Felix's good friend, and they go hard after each other. Beltre, a .323 hitter with a homer, 2 runs batted in, and 8 strikeouts against Felix. Beltre and Elvis Andrus, only 2 guys left from that 2011 World Series team for the Texas Rangers. 0-1. Bouncing ball up the middle. Here's Miller. Flip to Cano for the force. And that'll do it. 10 pitches for Felix to get through that first inning. As he walks off, exchanging with Beltre, they're already underway. Well, on this Friday the 13th, we got one guy dressed as a king and another, Larry Bernandez, dressed as Elvis. It's that kind of night, everybody. Good. And the king of pop to your extreme right. Don't want to leave him out either. Take a look at the Mariner batting order that will face Nick Tepesch.
Tonight's starting line is brought to you by Chevron. James Jones will lead things off. Then it's Kyle Seager hitting second for the first time this year. You can see what Kyle has done in his career against the Rangers. A .573 slugging percentage for Kyle, hitting second for the first time. Then it's Cano, Morrison, the cleanup hitter, Romero, Ackley, Zunino, Miller, and Gillespie rounding out the 9 for the Mariners. For Nick Tepesch on the year, 2-2 record, a 4.91 ERA. 25 2/3. He has 18 strikeouts. He has walked 11 batters. Opponents hitting .287 against him.
Strike 1 to James Jones. Jones hit .287. No homers, 6 runs batted in, 7 out of 8 in base steal. 1 for 3 against Tepesch. The 1. Tepesch with a record of 1-1, a 4.19 ERA against the Mariners thus far this season. He did go 1-2.
Tepesch has a good fastball. It will be in the low 90s. Also mix in a curveball and a changeup. Mariners faced him in May. He went 6 1/3, gave up 3 earned runs against the Mariners.
2-2 to Jones. Rangers come in 4-8 record the month of June. I mentioned a month ago they were in first place and they have taken a big fall. Mariners trying to rebound. Got swept by the Yankees the last 3 nights and 3 good ball games. 3-2, 4-2, and 6-3. Those losses coming after Mariners won 8 of 9. Jones, line drive, and a nice backhand catch by the right fielder Alex Rios.
Good adjustment by Rios. This ball is diving in a hurry, and that is a clean catch. Good break on the ball by Rios. He's a really good outfielder, good right fielder, has a strong throwing arm, covers a lot of ground. Good play. Quick look at the defense. Chu is in left field. Beltre, the Gold Glover, at third. Anderson Odor playing up the middle. Brad Snyder, another one of the first basemen for the Rangers. Chirinos will do the catching.
There's Seager, 5 for 10 against Tepesh with 3 doubles. He's done a heck of a job against Texas pitching this season. 351, 3 homers and 9 runs batted in.
Left-handed hitters this year hitting .318 off of Tepesh.
Opportunities there for the fellas tonight.
Kyle has hit well against the Rangers. You can see he's hit well against Tepesh with that 5 for 10.
Off the end of the bat, Beltre right there. 2-way. Pen active as usual. It's Friday night. Rangers tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Then San Diego for 2. And then the Mariners go to San Diego. 3 at Kansas City, and then come right back. The Boston Red Sox will be in town, followed by Cleveland. And that'll get us to the end of June.
Robinson Cano will step in. He is 2 for 3 with a home run against Tepesh.
Robbie, the leading hitter in the American League, Alex Rios, number 2. Mariners go deep in this series. Hopefully they'll have a lot more luck than they had in the Yankees series. 5 outstanding catches by Yankee outfielders over the last 3 nights.
That was something, wasn't it?
Saunders killed one the first night. Looked like he had a 3-run homer, and Ellsbury brought it back in. Gardner made some good catches. So did Ichiro.
Ellsbury made a couple of them.
Man. There you have it. Top hitters in the American League. Cano in the lead spot there. Adrian Beltre, number 5. Pulled a string at 79 miles an hour. Tepesh, 25 years old, out of Kansas City, Missouri. 14th round pick, June 2010 draft. Texas these last few years has had a good ERA. Guess what? Right now they are dead last in the American League. As Cano swings through that 2-seam fastball, and 13 pitches. Quinn Walcott telling Cano, yeah, that was a strike. No scores. We go to the second. train car we're giving away this weekend. Goes 95 miles per hour if Felix throws it. Join us tomorrow, 7:10. Felix Hernandez Kings Court Train Car Night. Free to the first 20,000 fans through the gate. So jump on board. Get tickets right now at Mariners.com. Well, the turkey legs went to the three kings here. The king of pop, the king of the court, and Larry Hernandez as Elvis, and drumstick, scepter, guys loaded. He's covering all bases.
Good crowd out there tonight.
Here's Alex Rios, number 2 hitter in the American League behind Robinson Cano. And he drops this one in front. Dustin Ackley, the base hit. The list starts here and just keeps on going. Some guys have been on there a couple of times.
Yeah, both their first basemen, Fielder and Moreland, both out. Of course, starting pitching has been a real problem for them. Agondo, one of their best relievers, out. Good for the Mariners not to see him. They are struggling. Add Harrison and Holland and a number of other players to that group. It's been a tough year for Ron Washington.
Harrison, Profar, Neftali Perez, and Moreland all done for the year. Brings up Brad Snyder, their 4th first baseman. He just got called up from AAA Round Rock on Tuesday.
Only 7 at-bats for him.
Knocking around pro baseball since '03. And he was next man up to play first base. Previous action in the big leagues with the Cubs in 10 and 11. Hit a .67. No homers, 5 RBIs in 20 games.
Ron Washington maybe. Only one of Lloyd's lines. Somebody has to play first.
That's true. So today,
running out of options.
Honest to goodness, today Logan Morrison, by the way, for Lloyd is batting in the cleanup spot. Somebody's got to do it. Lloyd said today the only guy when he's picking up the lineup out of the hat, the only guy's name not in the hat, Robinson Cano. They had a lot of fun with that before the game. 2-0.
Felix still has a good fastball, 93 miles an hour on that last fastball. Felix, of course, in his last outing, striking out 15 Rays in 7 innings. How about Felix in his last 5 starts? 8 innings, 2 earned runs, 8 innings, 1 run, 8 2/3, 1 run, 7 innings, 2 earned runs in his last outing, 7 innings, no earned runs. He has been next to unhittable. All of his pitches working.
I was asked this afternoon, how's Felix going to attack the Texas Rangers, or how are they going to attack him? I said, listen, he got all 4 or 5 pitches working. Just like, hey, we'll see tomorrow.
Well, I think you've already seen it. They're being aggressive with him. They're trying to swing the bats.
2-2 here to Snyder. Strike 3 called. He was behind 2-0. Battled back. Have a seat.
First strikeout of the night for Felix. Another good fastball, 93 miles an hour. This is his 4-seamer. Good look at our McDonald Supermo and the 4-seam grip from Felix. He just reached back through that ball right down the middle.
That was Brad Snyder's first look at Felix Hernandez, and I'm sure he's shaking his head in the dugout. And he's not going to be the first nor the last. Brings up Robinson Chirinos, the catcher. Limited action 0 for 3 against Felix. When this team was loaded, particularly the 2 teams that went to the World Series, I think that's where a lot of the damage was done. Felix starting in his 42nd game against Texas, his record 12-20 with a 4.11 ERA.
No, I think you're right. This is not that team. Teams that did the damage over the course of what was probably 3 or 4 years, and
they thumped.
Yeah, different club altogether, and they go about their business a little bit different. They're going to try to steal in this series, and again, their first in sacrifice bunting, that was the number that really jumped off the page at me. Ron Washington doing everything he can to manufacture runs, and it's worked. They are 6th in the league in runs scored, but you can't do anything about your pitching. The amount of pitching they've lost, last in ERA, that's where it's really hurt them.
Comebacker to Felix, sets himself up for the throw. Cano turns that double play. Isn't he special?
That's nice.
That is really fun to
nice.
watch. 8 pitches, double play, and the Mariners will swing the bats in the bottom of the second. In fielding his position. Watch how he sets himself up, Mike.
Put this on the resume for his efforts to get a Gold Glove. Matter of fact, both of them. How quickly. See the way he gets away from the mound on flat ground? Less than half a second for Cano to get rid of it. But what? Just a perfect play. Watch Cano again, the hands. How quickly he gets rid of it. Never in a hurry. And, of course, the strong arm. Rios trying to break up the double play, but you can't get him. That was perfect.
And he saw Chris Woodward, the infield coach. He was what? He was shaking his head.
He was down there laughing. Yeah, he was doing the same thing. But I was impressed with Felix. Both of them, no hurry. Felix made sure he was away from the dirt, get on some flat ground, and a perfect throw to Cano for him to finish the double play. It was really good.
Here's Logan Morrison, the 7th Mariner to bat in the cleanup spot so far this season. Morrison, Romero, and Ackley against Nick Tepich.
Morrison just 28 at-bats on the season. But he's going to get a bunch of them here over the next few weeks.
High fly ball, deep right field. Rios has a beat on it on the track. He's there, makes it right in front of the 380. I bring up Stephen Romero.
He gets a first pitch fastball right in the middle of the plate. Skies it out to right center, right in front of the 380 mark. Rios had a beat on it.
Stephen Romero facing Tepich for the first time. Romero looking to do a little breaking out here. He's 0 for his last 10. Pops this one up. Going back is Odor. 2 down quickly here in the second inning. Need a gift for Dad? Well, the MLB.com at Bat app and subscription to its premium features on his favorite smartphone or tablet are perfect for Father's Day. Dad's going to have access to features like live look-ins, instant replay, live audio, free MLB.TV game of the day, and more. For details, visit MLB.com. Quick 2 outs. Brings up Ackley, who looks at a strike. Dustin hitting at .235 with 4 homers and 24 runs batted in. Just 2 for 10 here in the first 3 games of this homestand. Broken bat foul ball. 0-2. Another broken bat. Backhanded, this time by Enders. Throws him out. And the Mariners quickly and quietly gone in the second inning. 6 pitches for Tepage in this scoreless ball game. Watch out for flying wood. In the building tonight here at Safeco Field. And earlier, these youngsters swore in to join them. U.S. Army taking the oath. And we salute these youngsters as well. Thank you for your service. Big moment, big transitional moment in their lives. Felix Hernandez on the mound. Double play got him out of, it wasn't even trouble. Got him out of the second inning. Leave it at that. Leonys Martin leads off. Andy breaking ball, strike one. Martin, the center fielder, to be followed by Rougned Odor, the second baseman, and Michael Choice. 8, 9, and 1. Up in the King's Court on this Friday evening. It's a bigger section than the last time they had King's Court. Some popped up foul again. Good to see this picture here, setting the background for Martin. Trying to work into his mindset, and it did. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Felix.
Well, again, just reaching back, throwing the good fastball. It's a four-seamer at 93 miles an hour. Elevated above the belt. It's going to be tough to catch up to that fastball. Martin swings underneath it.
Felix coming off a career best 15 strikeouts. His last start, that was at Tampa Bay.
I had a good conversation with Rick Waits today about a number of the starting pitchers for the Mariners, and I asked him just about overthrowing pitches at times and starters and why they do it and how they do it. He said typically it starts with their body. Their body jumps out there, gets too far out there. And he said to me that Felix and Iwakuma, guys that have been around, and Chris Young, the veteran pitchers, those guys that they rarely do it. Everybody does it from time to time, but they rarely do it. And he said that in fact he has a game with Felix to ask him after the game, how many times did he overthrow a pitch? You see this ground ball go out to Cano.
2 away.
And they'll laugh about it because Felix he rarely does it, but he'll ask him, and then he'll try to figure out which pitch it was. And I can't remember who the hitter was. I wish I could, but he asked Felix, and he ended up striking him out. He said, "Did you overthrow that fastball?" And Felix says, "Yeah." And he says, "Well, why did you do that?" He said, "Because last time he got a hit and drove 2 runs, I was going to make sure that didn't happen again."
They don't forget, man. They don't forget.
Yeah, he's laughing about it. But it was an interesting conversation just about the maturity that you have as you move along in your career. And you remember Felix when he was 19, 20 years old.
He was a lot heavier.
Yeah.
He's in great shape now.
But he would overthrow pitches a lot more, too. And he said as you mature and you figure out who you are and what you're capable of doing, you see less and less of that. And he was, referring to some of the younger pitchers, and we saw Elias last night. But he said it's typical for the younger guys, but it was a lot of fun listening to him talk about Felix and them having that type of conversation.
Michael Choice grounded out to third base to start the ball game. There's Elias on the left, Andy Chavez, Jesus Montero on your right. Swing and a miss by Choice. You might see, I would guess we would see Mr. Montero tomorrow against Joe Saunders.
Yeah, it sounded like, for what Lloyd was saying, he was going to DH against left-handers. So he'll probably be in the lineup tomorrow.
Montero, 270 hitter, 8 home runs, 40 ribbies, 59 games at Tacoma. He looks ahead 1-2. Strike 3 called. 11 pitches, very economical, very efficient, through 3. Felix and the Mariners tied up with the Rangers, no score. Mariners and the Rangers as we take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Rangers Saturday and Sunday, San Diego. Here Monday, Tuesday, we go there. Wednesday, Thursday, Kansas City next weekend, and then back home for Boston and Cleveland. Where's the time going? The All-Star break will be upon us before you know it. Bottom third of the order for the Mariners against Nick Tepich. Mike Zunino to lead off. Zunino, base hit to left field. First Mariner hit.
Good to see some hard work paying off. Mike out early for early batting practice today. Jumps on a first pitch fastball. Lines it into left field. The Mariners against the Yankees never had the lead in that entire series. That was a big key, I thought. And if you look at the pitching, Iwakuma through the first 2 innings, 46 pitches. The Mariners trailed 2-0. Young threw 42 pitches through the first 2 innings. The score was even. And then Elias yesterday, 38 pitches. They were trailing 2-0. Felix has done his part through the first 3.
Up the middle. Does it have eyes? No. That's a fine double play. If it holds, it doesn't, as Miller gets down the line, but Rougned Odor, what a play that was.
Wow. Showed some range, didn't he? It looked like that ball was going to end up in center field. Makes a fine backhanded play. Andrus, the shortstop, was going up the middle trying to keep it on the infield, and he had to stretch right here to reach the bag. Looks like he gets the back corner of it. There it is, right on the edge. Not able to get enough on the throw. Miller beats it out. Good hustle from Brad. With the way the Mariners bullpen has been pitching, they have been outstanding. Mariners much better club when they play from the lead.
No doubt about it. And the team's pitching and they're catching it. Just got to get that batting average up significantly, although you have to give it to them at 258 runners in scoring position. That is a marked improvement.
It is.
There's Cole Gillespie. To the strike.
Well, we've seen them play some really good baseball, especially on the last road trip, but they had to come from behind a couple of times in that trip. But for the most part, when they're out in front, they're tough to beat because of how strong their pitching is. And Felix is giving them an opportunity here early to get on the scoreboard. I'd like to take advantage of that.
Miller back. He's 3 for 3 in base stealing so far.
By the way, Felix just 18 pitches to get through the first 2 innings compared to what the rest of the guys have done.
That's a big difference.
Yes.
There he goes. A throw down to second. Waiting for him. Nice throw by Chirinos. 2 away.
That was a late break by Brad. I'm wondering if maybe it was a hit and run. Take a look at it. Pitch is down in the zone. He's thrown out by a good margin. Hit and run, typically you're going to get a later break, expecting the hitter to protect you.
Ball 2 strikes. Two and 2. Strike 3 call. It's a Tepish faces the minimum in the third thanks to Chirinos throwing out Miller. 7 pitches. Both pitchers pretty sharp tonight. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners, and it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Happy Felix night, happy Kings Court night. And Felix, look at these digits already shining.
Just 29 pitches to get through the first 3 innings. Felix has faced 1 over the minimum. Tepish has faced the minimum, so both pitchers on top of their game right now.
Felix helped by an inning-ending double play in the 2nd inning after a leadoff single by Alex Rios. It'll be Andrews, Chu, and Beltre, 2-3-4 here in the 4th inning. Andrews with a base hit. Center field his first time up. James Jones just relocated a couple steps towards right center field here for Elvis. Strike 1. Outside 1-1. Breaking ball hit to right field. Cole Gillespie makes the play. Felix with a couple of no decisions against Texas through a gem April 16th. 7 innings left with a 2-0 lead. Club couldn't hold on. And then 10 days later here in Seattle, he left the 3-3 score in the 6th. 5-hit, 3-run ball, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Shin-Soo Choo, one-time Mariner. Got to put Cespedes and Puig in terms of outfield arms, in terms of their ability to keep guys at bay. But Shin-Soo Choo's among the probably in that next tier of outfield arms in the American League.
We've talked about him before. When he was with the Mariners, they actually at one point talked about making him a pitcher. He had such a strong arm. There's a good changeup from Felix.
One out, a 2-1 count to Chu with Beltre on deck. That's the appropriate response. You just laugh. I mean,
look at this curveball, 80 miles an hour. Give up on it, and there it is, right in the middle of the plate, and you can't get a swing on it. It's funny. He's something.
Had him play just right. 2 away. Hey, Mariner fans, your local Ford store is hosting a peanut butter drive at Safeco Field on Sunday. Ford dealers in the Pacific Northwest are helping local community food banks to make sure no child goes hungry this summer. Fans attending Sunday's Father's Day game against the Rangers may bring their unopened peanut butter donation to Safeco Field to contribute to the Ford Focus on Child Hunger campaign. Here's Adrian Beltre to the strike. Beltre started the night a .323 hitter against Felix. Felix has struck him out 8 times. Beltre's got him once for a home run. Did not go, says Alfonso Marquez. And that's that is the biggest Beltre fan in the world. He has totally cleaned up his act. He clearly has gone corporate since we last saw him.
Looks good.
Looks fantastic. Lost weight, tightened it up. He's one of the first guys you would see, because you see it now in all of the basketball venues. Guys have that, the big head on a stick. And Curtis Wilson, our producer, said You saw it earlier today. He may break it out at some point. 2-1. Well, Beltre, after that last pitch, had get the pitch up a little bit. Felix threw it right there. 2-2. Mariner fan, but a big Beltre fan. You know, Adrian is now with the Rangers, no longer a Mariner. 2-2. What do you think he comes back here? Nobody on. 3-2.
Probably a slider. I think it's interesting. It looks like Beltre wants to play games, and Felix is walking away from him. Doesn't want any part of it during the at-bat.
Fouled off.
It's good fastball, 94 miles an hour. The best fastball from Felix so far off the plate away.
Buddy against buddy, but between the lines, it's all business. 3-2, fouled off. Felix with 3 strikeouts thus far, no walks. Giving up 2 hits. 7 pitch at bat so far. Try it again, 3-2. Ground ball down to Miller. And he throws him out. A 1-2-3. 4th inning for Felix. So he waits to catch the attention of Beltre. No score. Ball on Root Sports, being brought to you by BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. By Jack in the Box, head to Jack in the Box for the new Jalapeno Ranch or Barbecue Ultimate Cheeseburgers at participating restaurants. By Barrier Motors, visit Barrier Audi at barrieraudi.com. And by Seattle City Light, visit seattle.gov/WePower for more information. Good crowd on hand here. Cloudy skies here in Seattle. Mariners, first of 3. Kings Court in session with Felix on the mound. First of 3 with the Texas Rangers. And tonight, he's got the Fez guy. He's got the crown on top of the Fez. So he's totally representing out in right field. Top of the order for the Mariners. James Jones leading off. This starts a second time through against Nick Tepich.
There's just one base runner, a base hit from Zunino in the third inning. Put some pressure on him. Trying to pitch out of the stretch.
Three and 0. There's a strike, 3-1. Kyle Seager on deck, grounded out his first time, grounded out the third. Coming in to make the play is Leonys Martin, one away. Bring up Seager. We were talking to Lloyd McClendon right after he got the job in his ideal situation with thinking, at that point, you think everybody's going to be healthy. He thought Seager was going to be his number 2 guy for the entire season.
Well, this is the first time he's hit second this year. He's had to hit in the middle of the lineup. Hit anywhere from cleanup to 6th in the lineup for the most part, but hitting second tonight. And if you look at it, when he's hit second in the past in his career, hitting number 2, he's a .297 hitter. So he's had success hitting in that spot.
Spent the majority of the season batting 5th or 6th. Martin coming in. 2 down. 2 outs here in the 4th. Hey kids, we want to make sure you catch the next Aquafina Little League Day giveaway. It's coming up Sunday, and all you youngsters 14 and under going to take home a poster of Mariners catcher Mike Zunino when the Mariners take on the Rangers at 1:10. Gear up with tickets. Go get them, Mariners.com. Brings up Cano, struck out on a 1-2 pitch. Tepich in that first at bat showed him a changeup at about 74.
It's a pretty good lineup if you can hit Kyle second, isn't it? He leads your club in home runs and RBIs, and the club was healthy, and yet everybody swinging the bat the way that you think that they're capable of, and you have it. Oh boy.
Jerry Davis said he went.
Cano not happy about that. I think he thought he held up. It like it was a curveball in the dirt.
He gets angry in slow motion.
That's a good way to put it. Nice slow walk away from home plate.
One and two. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and nobody on. Good pitching matchup. Felix Hernandez and this man Nick Tepich. Strike him out. 1, 2, 3. Again go the Mariners. Third strikeout for Tepich. He used 12 pitches this time. A lot of economics in this one. rock and roll. Let's go with King Arthur and the King of Pop. And the two princes.
And, of course, King Felix.
Costume store was open and doing brisk business. Alex Rios going to lead it off here in the fifth, followed by Brad Snyder and Robinson Chirinos. 5, 6, and 7 in the order. Felix with 3 strikeouts thus far, giving up 2 hits, 1 in the first to Andrus, and Rios leading off the second.
And through the first 4. 45 pitches, 34 strikes for Felix. Faced 13 batters, 10 first pitch strikes.
Felix second in innings pitched, tied for second in strikeouts, 6th in the ERA beginning tonight. There's a strike to Rios, 1-1. Worm burner down to Seager, 1 away. Game 2 of this series, CenturyLink linked to what's next. Safe code Joe Saunders takes on Erasmo Ramirez. Saunders struggling at 0-2, and Ramirez trying to find the right groove. ERA just under 6.
In Tampa, he had to pitch out of some trouble. Fortunately, he was able to do it. Ended up having 5 walks. He would like to see him get away from that. He was a command type pitcher. Although he walked some batters, he was able to make some pitches when he needed to get out of trouble. We certainly would like to see him get deeper in the game.
Oh, my goodness, yes. 5 walks, a career worst. Jones runs it down. Line drive off the bat of Snyder, 2 away.
Showing good speed. He was shading towards right center field, and this ball hit out to left center with a little slice to it, and he just outruns the line drive.
Two outs. Brings up Chirinos, bounced into an inning-ending double play in the second. That's a couple steps towards left in center field. Pitch just outside. 2-0.
A couple of good fastballs. Felix not getting the call in either one.
Quinn Walcott, home plate umpire. Ground ball to Miller. 8 pitches for Felix. What a night. Offense, both of them shut down so far. Coming up for the Mariners, it'll be Logan Morrison, Stephen Romero, and Dustin Ackley. Safeco Field. Scoreless ball game. Good pitching matchup this evening. Mariners and Seattle's Ford dealers. They're partnering together to conduct a peanut butter drive to feed those in need. And you can pitch in when you come to Safeco Field now through Tuesday. Catch Mariners baseball. Simply bring a jar of peanut butter to donate. All proceeds go to benefit Northwest Harvest. Little Junior having some fun. Daddy's cap.
I think he's trying to rally cap early.
That's it. Why not? Looks like he's got the orange peel in the mouth like Brando did in The Godfather, too. Remember that in the scene in the garden there, right there, late in the movie, before he checked out. Logan Morrison. Tepich drops in a breaking ball for a strike.
Morrison first pitch swinging in his first at bat. Skied a ball out to right center. Rios able to make the catch up against the 380 mark.
Seventh man to bat cleanup for Lloyd McClendon this season. Got a count of 1-1.
Rangers have the shift on. Elvis Andrus, the shortstop, on the right side of the infield.
Able to hold up. And Jerry Davis concurs. 2-1.
We saw it. 42 pitches working here in the fifth.
Good work by Tepich. Great work by Felix.
Both starters being efficient.
Lost to Cleveland in his last outing, and prior to that lost at Washington. Outfielder makes the play. That's Shin-Soo Choo. Bring up Stephen Romero, popped out to the second baseman Odor. One hit for the Mariners, a leadoff single by Zunino in the third. Tepich has struck out 3, hasn't walked anybody. Strike 1 to Romero. 7-4 month of June for the Mariners. Trying to end a 3-game losing streak. Got swept by the Yankees. Prior to that, they'd won 8 out of 9. That's a foul ball.
For Tepich, he's basically stayed with his two-seam fastball. He's been 91, 92 miles an hour. Good curveball and a changeup. Just trying to keep the ball on the ground, trying to sink it. Use the changeup. Not overpowering, but he's been able to locate. You see that last pitch, Romero chasing it well and off the plate.
Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Romero's gone. 4th strikeout for Tepich. 2 outs here in the 5th. Get downtown from the airport for only $2.75 on Sound Transit's Link Light Rail. See how easy it is at soundtransit.org. Tepich throwing a nice ball game here in the 5th. Previous 2 starts here in the Pacific Northwest, an 0-1 record, a 4.76 ERA. And he's going to get out of this one. Barely broke a sweat as he throws 8 pitches to get his 3 outs. Both these guys might be able to pitch all night at this rate. TNT fan photos of the game. Tweet your photos to hashtag Mariners fan photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming broadcast. First up, we got Laura's son Tommy. What a little cutie he is. Nice to see him dressed in Mariner gear. And Lauren and her college friends having a blast here on college night on Friday the 13th here in Seattle. Pitchers are dominating tonight. Felix Hernandez and Nick Tepich. 3 hits total in the ball game. Felix has given up 2 hits, Tepich 1. Felix has thrown 3 shutout innings. Gave up solo singles first and second innings. Not surprised to see Leonys Martin try to bunt his way on. One of the faster guys in the league.
Not trying anything at this point. You remember Felix in 2010 when he won the Cy Young Award, how dominant he was in July and August and September, and the numbers he was putting up.
Absolutely.
It's kind of scary if you think about what he has done this year.
Feeds to Felix, the tag, he got him.
What a play by Felix. That was a really good play by Felix. Kind of a tweener. It was a tough play. They weren't sure who was going to field it and who was going to cover the base, and they do the right thing. Morrison fields it, and it's a quick flip to Felix, and then he catches this with his bare hand. He does, and then he quickly puts it back into his glove and makes the tag. Just a good play all the way around. Well done. So now quickly he gets off the mound. Felix again, a good athlete. Quick thinking too.
Sure was.
But the way Felix is going, if he can roll in and have the same type of July and August, just a comparison through 14 starts. 2010, Felix's ERA had a 3.61. Given up 89 hits. He had 33 walks and 88 strikeouts. Through 14 this year, 2.39 ERA, just 82 hits. 33 walks in 2000, just 17 walks this year, and 106 strikeouts compared to 88.
Ding, 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 ding. I like it.
Those are some impressive numbers, and he typically gets better as the season goes on. So really gives you something to look forward to with the way that he's going. And it looks to me that since 2010, this has probably been a year where at times when he's needed that extra velocity, he's had it. We've seen him topping out at 95. He's been 94 here tonight. So he's feeling really good.
The other thing, too, you will not need the microscope to go into some baseball metrics because some of the regular numbers, the traditional numbers, are so outstanding.
Right. It's something.
Breaking ball for a strike to Odor, the second baseman.
I think in the Cy Young Award year in August of that year, I think it was 42 innings. He'd given up 4 earned runs. And 42 innings in August.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Odor fouls it back 2-2. Kings Court in session. K upside down, doesn't matter. The sentiment is what counts. The sentiment counts. 2-2. And he misses. Felix hasn't run any 3-2 counts tonight. This one fouled back. Hit a 3-2 count against Beltre in the 4th. Got him to ground out. And unofficially, that's only, so this only makes 2. What is unofficial now? 2 3-ball counts.
And he's going right after Odor. He doesn't want to walk him. A couple of good fastballs, but he's been able to foul him off.
3-2. Red Miller slings it over. Morrison for out number 2.
And again, consistently down in the zone. That good downward movement on all of his pitches. A lot of ground ball outs. That counts just 2 fly ball outs, and they came in the 4th inning. Everything else on the ground or a strikeout for Felix.
If you're looking for a last-minute gift for Dad, then shop the Father's Day sale going on right now at all Mariners team stores. You're going to find select caps, apparel, and souvenirs from 25 to 50% off. And you're bound to find the perfect gift for Dad when you visit any of the 5 convenient Mariner team store locations. Top of the order, Michael Choice. Looks ahead 0-1. And make it 0-2.
Oh, wow. Perfect pitch, 93 miles an hour. There you go. 65 pitches, 48 strikes for Felix. 19 batters faced, 13 first pitch strikes. If he's working ahead of you, that is a rough night.
Did he go?
Yes, he
did. So 15 consecutive retired by Mr. Hernandez as we get to the bottom of the 6th. What a ball game. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports, being brought to you by Pizza Hut. Make it great. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Barrier Motors, visit Mercedes-Benz of Bellevue at mercedes-benzofbellevue.com. And by BECU, offering convenient access to online and mobile banking. Get info and join at becu.org. What a pitching matchup we have on this cloudy evening here in Seattle. Nick Tepich against Felix Hernandez. 0's up on the board. It's 2 hits for Texas and 1 for the Mariners. Here's Mike Zunino, author of that only hit leading off the 3rd inning.
Mike was able to jump on a first pitch fastball, hit it hard into left field.
Jumps on this one. Deep drive, left center field. Off. 1 hop over the fence. Automatic double. Well, Mike Zunino having a night 2 for 2.
We're talking about it earlier in the game. Mike was out for early batting practice, and it's great when you see these guys coming out trying to figure things out and watching the work pay off. But he gets a couple of fastballs that he can handle. The first one was a line drive in the left, and this one he drives into the gap. Came into the game second with extra base hits for American League catchers at 18, so now 19 extra base hits for Mike.
11 doubles. Jason Phillips, the bullpen catcher, going old bang zoom to the moon. There's Brad Miller. Shows bunt, takes a strike.
Good idea. Get Zunino over to the 3rd any way that you can with the way that Felix is throwing it. Get him a run.
Beltre in on the grass at 3rd. outside. 1-1. Washington and the MGR Texas Ball Club since '07. Adrian Beltre, perennial Gold Glover. Fouls it off. 1-2. Miller on the season with 2 sacrifices. Mariners have 13 as a team.
I think we saw James Jones drop down a bunt with 2 strikes, didn't we?
Sure did.
Yeah, I think it was on the road
Absolutely.
trip. Let's see what he's going to do with Brad right here if he makes him bunt or lets him swing away. Beltre's back even with the bag at third.
1-2. Takes ball 2. Brad Miller swinging the bat a lot better over his last 13 games. A .293 hitter. Homer and 4 runs batted in. They give him a big gap in left center field. Swing and a miss. 5th strikeout for Tepish. 1 away.
It's like a good 2-seam fastball, probably down out of the strike zone. Brad will swing over the top of it. It looked like he was trying to pull the ball after not getting the bunt down.
Ball 1 to Cole Gillespie. Took a called 3rd strike in his first at bat. That was back in the 3rd inning.
First runner in scoring position for either club. You'd like to see the Mariners take advantage of that with the way Felix is throwing.
Charging is Odor. Backhand throw. That is well done. 2 away with Zunino to 3rd.
Good play by Odor. Gillespie, he can get down the line. He has good speed, and he bounces this over the pitcher's head. Look how quickly on the backhand, how quickly he gets rid of it with something on it. Throws him out by a good 2 or 3 steps. Fine play by Odor.
Jurickson Profar out for the season. Odor probably, no doubt, getting more time than he ever expected when he went to spring training. Big club. Top of the order, James Jones. Runner at 3rd, Zunino. Zunino, first runner either team to get to 3rd tonight. Jones has a 1-0 count. He's lined out hard to right and lined out to center. Easy play here for Rios, and a runner's left stranded at 3rd. Mariners threaten, don't score. 6 complete in a fast moving ball game. No score. comfortable nonetheless. No scores. We take a look at our Seattle City Light power play. Felix Hernandez on the mound. Mike Zunino, man, oh man, he's 2 for 2 tonight. And when he catches Felix, he's hitting at a 365 clip, 19 for 52, 13 RBIs and 5 home runs. It's a good formula. Mike Z and Felix.
Needs a couple of the other guys to join the party with him.
Oh man, and quickly.
Third time through the lineup for Felix. Elvis Andrus will lead off. Andrus 1 for 2. Had a base hit his first time up, threw out to right in the 4th inning.
$22,039 on hand here tonight. First of a weekend series with the Rangers. Elvis Andrus, Shin-Soo Choo, and Adrian Beltre. 7th inning. Felix with 4 strikeouts. Tepic struck out 5. Denario walk in the ballgame. Elvis tonight. First base hit of the ballgame. That was in the 1st inning. And fly to right. And 0. Choose on deck. Felix battles back with strike 1. Felix in that last outing, 15 Ks with 7 innings, a 4-hit shutout ball. 2-hit shutout ball here tonight.
He threw 100 pitches to get through the 7 innings. He's only at 71 pitches now here working in the 7th.
Put himself in position for strikeout number 5 here. 3-2 to Andrus. Center field, Jones makes the adjustment. And there's 1 out. Here's Angie Mente.
Guys, thanks. The Mariners chasing the Angels right now for 2nd place in the AOS, and the Angels taking on the Atlanta Braves. It's very odd. Look at that, A versus A. I love the interleague play. Raul Ibanez with a chance to tie it in the 9th, but instead Raul goes down swinging the Braves over the Angels. The final there, guys, 4-3. Back to you.
Mariners will take it. All right, Angie, thank you. There's a look at the updated standings. Mariners will next see the Angels to open up the 2nd half. That'll be down in Anaheim. That'll be in the month of July. That'll be the 18th, 19th, and 20th. The Braves will be here as well. That'll be in August. August 5th and 6th, the night game and a day game. 1-0 to Choo. 2-0. Two-0 pitch. Back with a strike. Boy, he's been uncanny. Gets behind, is able to get right back in it. Through the hole, a base hit for Shin-Soo Choo. First hit for Texas since the leadoff single by Alex Rios in the 2nd inning.
Only the 3rd hit of the ball game for him, and that would look like a hanging curveball left to pitch up in the zone. They were playing him to pull the ball on the ground, but he's able to find a hole through the right side, and that was a curveball that he left up in the zone. Been able to get Beltre to hit a couple of ground balls out to Brad Miller at short. Like to get another one right here and turn the double play.
Swing and a miss.
Just a smart pitch. First couple of at bats, he threw that fastball, good one in on the inside corner, and that time he started him off with a good slider. Beltre looking inside.
One. Away from Zunino. It'll be a wild pitch.
Well, it looked like his changeup spiked it. We'll take a look at it. Yep, that's the changeup. You can tell by the movement of it.
It's his 9th wild pitch this season. Now the Rangers threaten with 1 out runner at second.
That's their first runner in scoring position tonight.
2-1 to Beltre. 2-2. Felix with 4 strikeouts tonight. Hasn't walked anybody. Crowd out in the King's Court. 2-2 pitch. Do it again.
Another good pitch. Fastball inside after he's able to get a couple of sliders over for strikes. Comes in to jam him up. He'll probably go back away, although Felix, one of the great things about it is that he will double up in there. Not afraid to come inside a couple of times. One of the things that Rick Waite was talking to me about today, he said that Felix, his ability to pitch inside and keep hitters uncomfortable is a big key to his success, and I would agree with that, along with the plus stuff that he has.
2-2, pounded into the ground. Here's Miller, throws out Beltre, 2 away. Down to third goes Chu.
That's a good changeup.
June 27th is the new 4th of July. The Mariners are once again lighting up the sky overhead this season with Seattle City Lights Mariners Fireworks Night. It's presented by Movin' 92.5. Fans are going to enjoy a fantastic fireworks show following the Mariners game against the Indians on Friday, the 27th of June. For tickets to Fireworks Night, all you have to do is log on to Mariners.com. Number 2 hitter in the American League, Alex Rios, looks at strike 1. 2 outs and a man at third.
Rios didn't like the call, but I like the pitch. If I were Felix, I'd be careful right here. Rios having a good year. 329 coming into the game. It's already 1 for 2 off of Felix, and you have Snyder waiting on deck. Struggling, hitting 143. Recently called up by the Rangers.
Here's the 0-1. There you go, he did. Rios came into tonight's action a .237 hitter against Felix with 14 strikeouts. And Felix right now is ahead.
And 2 good pitches. Both these pitches down and in off the plate. He hasn't thrown him a strike. I know the first pitch was called a strike, but that pitch was down. 2 well-located pitches from Felix. Smart pitches.
Fans looking for the punch out here. 2 outs, runner at third. 0-2 pitch. He got him! Struck him out! Coming up big, the King. Felix Hernandez out of trouble in the 7th to keep this a scoreless ball game. being brought to you by Washington's Lottery and the Department of Imagination. What would you do if you won? We're being treated to a terrific pitching matchup tonight. The King, Felix Hernandez, with 5 strikeouts tonight. Nick Tepich has matched him with 5. These two gentlemen posting zeros into the 7th inning here. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports Crew. What a ball game. Neither team has walked it. Neither pitcher has walked anybody.
And the best one for me was the last strikeout to Rios. I thought that was such smart pitching by Felix. He doesn't need a manager to let him know what's going on. He was aware of the situation, who was at the plate, and who was waiting on deck. You have Snyder on deck, just had 7 at-bats. But Felix throwing 3 perfect pitches. Did not want to throw Rios a strike. Rios trying to be overly aggressive in that situation and able to get that strikeout. But smart pitching by Felix.
Leading off for the Mariners will be Kyle Seager, a guy who's feasted on Texas pitching in his career. Let's hit ball 1. Seager, Cano, and Morrison here in the 7th. Kyle 0 for 2. The ground out to third, fly to center.
Coming into the game, Kyle slugging .573 for his career against the Rangers. Mariners could certainly use an extra base hit right here, whether it's a double, maybe hit one out of the ballpark.
Got Zunino to third in the 6th, couldn't score him. 2-1 to Kyle. Zunino led off the 6th with the double. Took third on a ground out. Was left standing there. 2-1 pitch here to Kyle Seager. Fouled off.
Mariners with just 2 hits.
Two. Mariners in the season 4-5 against the Rangers. 2-1 here at home and 2-4 down in Arlington. So look at Cano. Struck out twice tonight. Payoff pitch, 3-2, and he's aboard. First walk of the ball game. So Seager draws a walk to start off the Mariners home 7th, and we have another Coors Light Silver Bullet Saturday coming up tomorrow against these Rangers. First 400 fans 21 and older who enter the Root Sports Pen for early happy hour at the Rail Bar. You're going to get a free Silver Bullet Saturday t-shirt and extended happy hour pricing until first pitch. Plus, catch a specially marked Coors Light baseball during Mariners BP on a Silver Bullet Saturday, and you can win tickets to an upcoming game. Fans out in the pen watching the New York Rangers and the LA Kings battle in the Stanley Cup Finals. Rangers trying to stay alive. They're going into double overtime in LA. New York Rangers named for the law enforcement agency, the Texas Rangers.
Jason Frazier getting loose in the pen. Interesting to me that Martin is playing towards right center field. Cano, typically they play him to hit the ball the other way in the outfield, so there's a big gap in left center field, and they're pitching him away.
All 1 to Cano, struck out in a 1-2 pitch in the 5th, the 2-2 pitch in the 4th. Started tonight the league's leading hitter. On Washington's ball club, record of 4-8 here in the month of June. Trailing the Mariners in the standings. There's a strike. 1-1. Boy, young Gregory Polanco. Pirates just called up their bright young outfielder. He had a 5-hit night. Pirates this evening beat Miami 8-6. Oh, dribbler. Tepich goes to second, and they get the force on the lead runner. So 1-6 fielder's choice.
Another two-seam fastball hit off the end of the bat. Good play by Tepesh. Gets off the mound in good shape. Throws a strike. Andrus, the shortstop, just getting the out. No chance to turn two.
Brings up Logan Morrison. A couple flyouts here tonight. Sent Rios to the track in right center field and flied out to left. Ball one to Lomo. Just off the DL after hamstring issue. Morrison would like to do some damage here. Got an opportunity. Smoking Saunders out. Hurt his right hamstring April 15th before a game in Texas. He's ahead here 2-0.
Tepesh has fallen behind the left-handed hitters. He goes to his two-seamer away. Still a big gap in left center field. Morrison can hit it that way. You can see Martin, the center fielder, really shading over towards right.
2-0 count to Morrison.
Breaking ball.
Takes ball three. Stephen Romero's on deck. Takes a strike. Morrison looking to do some damage. 3-1. Takes ball four. Mariners have a couple of runners aboard with one out. Two free passes. They got to capitalize. Mike Maddox, pitching coach. Torino's going out to speak with the starter Tepesh. Coming up tomorrow, game 2 of this series, our CenturyLink link to what's next. That'll be Safeco Joe Saunders, who's got a good record here in this building. Goes against Erasmo Ramirez. Generally has been a control pitcher, but has not been the case here this season.
Slow walk to Ron Washington out to the mound. Just 72 pitches for Tepesh. He's going to go to Jason Frazier, veteran right-hander.
So pitching change here in the 7th inning as the Mariners threaten Felix, throwing a heck of a ball game here. Mariners trying to get him some runs here in the 7th. Back right after this. Unleashed from the rules of wireless restrictions. What an at-bat this was. Felix pitching to get out of trouble.
Yeah, it was really smart pitching. Rios, the veteran, hitting it basically in the middle of their lineup. He went after him, but I thought it was smart pitching. Didn't really throw him a strike in that at-bat. Everything down in the zone. Rios chasing a couple of pitches to help him out, and that was a big difference in the ball game.
Big Teplich is done.
6 1/3, just 2 hits. Has yet to give up a run. He is responsible for the 2 base runners, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 73 pitches, 42 of those for strikes. Jason Frazier, the veteran right-hander, will take over. He's pitched well for the Rangers this year. 1.59 ERA for him. 24 strikeouts and 22 2/3. 10 walks. Opponent's hitting just 190. He's given up only 1 home run. And the Mariners will send up a pinch hitter for Romero. It will be Andy Chavez. Frazier, good fastball slider, but they're going to send the veteran up there in Chavez. Mariners 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position tonight.
Good matchup. Couple of old heads getting after it. 2 36-year-olds. Jason Frazier out of Chicago, lives in Tampa now. Bulk of his career with the Blue Jays. A year with the White Sox, and now in his second campaign with Texas. First time either team has had 2 runners aboard. Indy down the line, foul. Chavez pinch hitting for Stephen Romero. Pitches a great game, and then he walked 2 here in the 7th inning. 0-1 inside Andy Chavez. 1-1. Total of 5 hits in the ball game so far as we play here in the 7th. 3 for Texas, 2 for the Mariners. Great threat here for the M's. Pitch to Indy. Slashes away and fouls it off.
Good aggressive swing at a fastball in the middle of the plate.
Romero lifted. Indy Chavez here, and Indy trying to make something happen here. You got Cano at second, Marson at first, and 1 out. Strike 3 called. 2 outs. Leave it up to Ackley here with 2 outs, 2 on.
Just a good fastball in the inside corner. Locked him up. Indy not able to get a swing off. Perfect pitch.
Ackley tonight, couple of groundouts. Ran out the short and a comebacker to the pitcher. Sad news in sports tonight. Chuck Noll has passed away, 82 years old. Took the Pittsburgh Steelers 4 Super Bowl championships. Pitch to Ackley with 2 on. 0-1. Pitch gets away on the swing and miss, so runners at second and third. 1-1. There's the count. A wild pitch.
And it's a breaking ball down in the zone. Ackley able to. They just missed it. Yeah, down. I thought maybe got a piece of it. Surprised that wasn't a pass ball. Didn't hit the dirt.
One base hit could plate 2 here in the 7th. Felix throwing a beauty. One count to Ackley. Strike 2. Three-hit shutout being worked by Felix Hernandez. Best chance for the Mariners to help him out. Pitch. Outside, 2-2. Ackley on the homestand. Coming into this at bat 2 for his last 12. Two and two. Counts run full. Mike Zunino swung the bat better than anybody. He has the Mariners only 2 hits, a single in the 3rd, a double in the 6th.
Well, Frazier doesn't have to give in to Dustin right here. You have first base open. Might go back to that off-speed pitch. If he throws him a fastball, he's probably going to throw it on the outside corner.
3-2. Struck him out. 2 men left stranded. To the 8th inning we go. No score. Five strikeout performance thus far for the King, Felix Hernandez. The Mariner offense not clicking. Had opportunities the last 2 innings. They've left 3 middle board. And here's Felix in the 8th to face Brad Snyder, Robinson Chirinos, and Leonys Martin. There's his line to this point. Been sharp.
Very sharp.
7 shutout innings his last time out. That was down at Tampa Bay.
And he's working on 17 scoreless innings now.
That scoring change. That wild pitch that moved Cano and Morrison. I'll change that to a pass ball.
I thought they might change it.
Official scored there in the door, making a change. A good change. Looks ahead on 2. Snyder, a career minor leaguer. 0 for 2 tonight. It's the way, 2-2. Andrus a base hit in the first inning. Rios in the second. In the 7th, a base hit by Chu. That's all Felix has given up tonight. 2-2.
Pitches now for Felix, 63 strikes.
No action in the Mariner pen right now. Full count. Yeah, that's the first walk issued by Felix here tonight. Mariners and Seattle's Ford dealers are partnering together to conduct a peanut butter drive to feed those in need, and you can pitch in when you come to Safeco Field now through Tuesday. Catch Mariners baseball. Simply bring a jar of peanut butter to donate and contribute to this fine cause. All proceeds go to benefit Northwest Harvest. Robinson Chirinos bounced into a double play, grounded out to short. Bunt in order. Takes a pitch up high for ball 1.
The Rangers are first in sacrifice bunting, so no surprise to see him square around. Kyle Seager was playing in front of the bag at third, expecting the bunt.
It's the bunt down. Felix off the mound. He throws a Cano. The sacrifice 1-4.
Rangers 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. Martin 0 for 2. Strikeout and a ground out to first.
The ground out to first is the one when Felix came over and made the tag on him. Pretty good reaction. A very good reaction on ground ball that went to Morrison. A little bit of indecision involved, but Felix bailed everybody out. Strike 1. The other way to Seager, runner back safely, 2 away.
Right off the end of the bat, it's the changeup, and he hits it right at Kyle. You can see the bat explode. They're playing him to pull the ball, so Cano wasn't anywhere near second. Not a chance to double him up, but a good pitch from Felix just off the plate away.
Big out. Number 2. Now, Rougned Odor, the second baseman. Grounded out the second, grounded out the short. That thing just totally avoided the bat, didn't it?
Changeup has a tendency to do that. That looked like a good curveball from Felix. Yeah, and he's had all 4 pitches tonight. Been able to throw what he wants when he wants. $22,039
Here at Safeco Field. Fully stocked Kings Court digging this. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Center field backing up Jones. Still going back. He's there. Makes a catch. So Felix, 8 strong innings. Getting some runs. A beauty he's throwing here tonight. It'll be Zunino, Miller, Gillespie all coming up. Sports being brought to you by the Department of Labor and Industries. When you're choosing a contractor, hire smart and go to protectmyhome.net. By Vern Funk Insurance, bad luck can hit anyone. Insure with the 13th man, Vern Funk Insurance. And by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. Beautiful night, cloudy nonetheless, but still beautiful. And a ball game, boy, it's been something else. Let's get to Angie Mentink right now.
Guys, I was thrilled that it didn't rain tonight because Dave Valley made his managerial debut for the Aqua Sox. We're going to have that for you in the post-game show. Right now, though, we take a look at our AT&T fan photos of the game. Michelle and her friend enjoying Kings Court this evening. And to talk about ready for baseball, David sends us this shot. Looks like brother and sister at the game tonight. Tweet your photos to hashtag Mariners fan photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming broadcast, guys.
All right, Angie, thank you very much. Sean Tollison is the new pitcher for the Texas Rangers. Mike Zunino, what a night he's had. He's got both Mariner hits.
In the Mariner offense.
Tollison, the third pitcher tonight for the Texas Rangers. Way outside. One to Mike Zunino. 2-1.
Rodney starting to throw in the Mariner pen.
Tollison acquired off the waiver wire from the Dodgers last November. 2-2. Pitching now for Ron Washington. Had Tommy John surgery back in 06. 2-2. And a good heater. Well placed. Strikes out Zunino. First time he's been retired tonight. It's 3 consecutive strikeouts now for Mariner hitters.
After a couple of sliders, comes back inside with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Bring up Brad Miller. Brad 0 for 2. Ground out and a strikeout swinging.
Mariners had their best chance, second and third. One out in the seventh. Could not score, and this one popped up and playable. Beltre is under it. A quick 2 outs. It's a new episode of Mariners All Access this Sunday at noon. Get exclusive player interviews, behind the scenes footage, and Mariners stories you can't find anywhere else. If you do miss Sunday's episode, tune in for re-airs throughout the week on Root Sports. For your local programming schedule, visit rootsports.com.
Left-hander Neil Cott's getting loose in the Rangers' pen.
Neil Cott. Cole Gillespie. Right center field and deep. Going back, making the catch, running it down. Leonys Martin, one of the top speed guys in the American League. Cole Gillespie gave it a really good ride. Martin shading that way and outran it. That's a third out in the 8th inning. As we go to the 9th in a scoreless ball game here in Seattle. Here for the 9th against the Texas Rangers, and Dave Valley, who retired from the big leagues in '96. First day on the job with Everett. He's a skipper. There you go, Val. Good for him. One of the really great guys.
Sure, he got the lineup card right, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
First day out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How about Felix? 98 pitches back out here in the 9th inning.
He's got the top of the order: Michael Choice, Elvis Andrews, and Shin-Soo Choo. 3 hits he's given up tonight. Struck out 5, walked 1.
Soria throwing in the pen for the Rangers. Rodney continues to throw in the Mariners' pen.
Good pitch, 1-2.
Leave the top of the order for the Mariners in the bottom of the 9th inning.
All 2 strikes. 2-2. Michael Choice has struck out twice tonight. Grounded out the 3rd. Struck out swinging in the 3rd and 6th. Fastballs and strikeouts for the King. One down here in the ninth.
Yeah, it looks like the changeup again. It is. You can see the grip, circle change, bottom falls out of it, and another swing and miss.
It's K choice 3 times tonight. Brings up Elvis Andrus, who's 1 for 3. First inning single to center. All one, Elvis. Down evens at 1-1. Way outside, 2-1. With that strikeout of Michael Choice, vaults to the top of the list, the American League. 2-1. Tell you what, he is thrilling this crowd with every strike that he pours in there.
And I'll tell you, 107 pitches, and he still has a good fastball. That last fastball, 93 miles an hour, right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Focus and concentration. The 2-2. Back up the middle. Base hit. Elvis Andrus, 2 of the 4 Texas hits tonight.
Rodney's still getting loose, and for Felix, he'll have to keep an eye on Andrus.
14 out of 18 in base stealing.
Rangers 4th in stealing. It's another fastball at 93. It's a back up the middle. Looks like it jammed him a little bit on the ground. Brad Miller was playing him in the hole to pull and not able to get to it.
Chu 1 for 3 tonight. Outside to Chu. Zunino 10 out of 39 throwing out runners. 1-0 to 2-0. Said his #1 guy out there. He's got his #1 closer. Got his closer, and Rodney continue to heat up here. 2-0 to Chu. Runner goes. Throw by Zunino on the third base side. Stolen base for Elvis Andrus. His 15th out of 19 opportunities.
Thought he had a decent jump. It was a really good pitch for Mike Zunino to throw on. It was a fastball that was up. Called a strike. Decent jump. Good play by Brad to keep the ball in the infield. It's not a very good throw by Mike. Maybe rushing it a little bit.
2-1. 3-1 to Chu. Beltre's on deck.
Rangers 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position tonight.
To Chu. He did go. It's his home plate umpire Quinn Wolcott. Count runs full.
And we'll see at 113 pitches for Felix, his season high 116. And Chu tries to check his swing. Good running fastball, 93 miles an hour. Running off the outside corner.
Or if he ever needed a strikeout, this is it right here.
Probably go to his changeup. That's his best pitch.
3-2 to Chu. Runner at second. Pitch. And Andrus down to third with the stolen bases. Chu walks, and runners at the corners now for Beltre with one out.
And it was his changeup, and that'll bring out Lloyd McClendon. Felix now 114 pitches.
Just the second walk. It is an absolute crime he didn't get any offensive support tonight. Man, did he pitch his tail off. Lloyd gave him every opportunity, and Felix acknowledges it. Listen to this crowd. 22,039 on their feet. Fernando Rodney will take his time coming into the ball game here. Try to put a wrap on this top of the ninth inning in a scoreless ball game. At the corners, Fernando Rodney taking over, but right now we take a look at our Columbia Bank difference of the ball game, and yep, that man right there, the King, Felix Hernandez.
Well, the Mariners needed a big time outing from Felix after losing 3 straight games to the Yankees, and they ended up getting it tonight. Felix, what a performance. Ended up with 6 strikeouts, but consistently keeping the Rangers on the ground. Really not into any trouble at all until here in the 9th inning. Full command of this ball game. Unfortunately, didn't get any run support. But a great performance for Felix, holding down the Rangers and giving his team a chance to get a lead.
So Felix acknowledging the fans' ovation as he makes his leave. Now 1 out, 2 on. As you look at Felix's line.
8 1/3, just 4 hits. Couple of walks, 6 strikeouts. He threw 114 pitches, 77 of those for strikes.
And the first pitch to Adrian Beltre is fouled off. Beltre 2 for 10 career against Fernando Rodney.
Both Andrus stealing on that last pitch, that changeup. He needs a strikeout. And he has 29 strikeouts over 24 2/3, 18 saves on the year. Opponents hitting 242 off of Rodney.
Fly ball down the right field line, giving chase Gillespie, and that's out of play. 0-2 to Beltre. Adrian tonight 0 for 3. Inning started with Choice striking out on a 2-2 pitch. Andrus singled up the middle on a 2-2 pitch. Chu walked, and then prior to that, a couple stolen bases by Andrus to get the third.
And Rodney quickly ahead, 0-2. A couple of pitches out of the strike zone, even getting the chase. Good fastball at 94. She fouls that one off.
Big spot in this ball game, and the Mariners' home ninth will be the top of the order. James Jones, Kyle Seager, and Robinson Cano. Mariners with just 2 hits, and Mike Zunino got them both. To Beltre. Bouncing ball to Miller to Cano. There's 1, and they get 2. And Morrison can't get it. Run scores, and the Rangers have a 1-0 lead.
That'll be an RBI. Fielder's choice E4 with Beltre getting to second. Take a look at it. It's hit in the hole. This was going to be a tough turn. Beltre runs well.
They get Chu on the force. Morrison makes an effort, can't get it. 6-4. They retire Chu. Fielder's choice Beltre. E4 gets him the second. Run scores. There's an RBI involved as well. So 1-0. Here's Rios. Tough break. Fouled back. It's the 3rd error by Cano this season. One-on-one to count to Rios. 1 for 3.
With Beltre getting to second, look, Morris was doing everything he could to keep his foot on the bag and still try to finish the play. Ball ended up getting by him.
Up the middle, there's Cano. Oh, he dropped it! But recovers to throw him out. So the Mariners on the tie, 2 to win. Bottom of the 9th coming up. James Jones, Kyle Seager, and Robinson Cano. Coming up here, and a question: are you the ultimate Northwest Mariners fan in the state of Montana? And Root Sports is looking for you throughout the month of June. Send us a photo and story using hashtag UltimateNWFanMT on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or by email at ultimatefan@rootsports.com. It could win you a VIP trip for 2 to Seattle in September, as well as a personalized jersey and more. For official rules, go to rootsports.com. Well, Joaquin Soria is going to take over for the Texas Rangers. He'll face the top of the order for the Mariners.
13 saves and 14 opportunities, a 1.96 ERA, 32 strikeouts in 23 innings. Opponent's hitting just 155 against him. He has not given up a home run this year.
Daniel Robertson takes over in left field. Ball 1 to Jones. 0 for 3 tonight. 2 hits tonight, both owned by Mike Zunino. That's it.
Soria, not the overpowering type of closer. He'll mix it up. His fastball will be in the low 90s. Throws a slider, curveball, mix in a changeup. See that fastball, 89 miles an hour on the outside corner. That's what he can do, locate.
Remember, he was a big-time closer for Kansas City and then missed the entire 2012 season. Tommy John surgery. Two 2-1 to Jones, fastest guy the Mariners have probably in the organization. Love to get him on base here. 2-1. Balls, 2 strikes. Adrian Beltre with a fielder's choice RBI coming against Mendo Rodney. Right now, that's the difference in the ball game. 1-0 Texas. Two and 2. Struck him out. 1 out.
Just goes with a fastball, top of the strike zone. Not able to catch up to it. That'll bring up Kyle Seager. Kyle 0 for 2. He walked in the 7th inning. And he has worn out the Rangers in his career. Boy, McClellan would like to see a double right now. Maybe hit one out of the ballpark.
Strike 1 to Kyle. First place Athletics in the 8th inning. Trail 4-0 to the Yankees. 1-1. Effective changing speeds, and again, not a hard thrower he was just a few years ago with Kansas City. He racked up a heck of a run. 17, 42, 30, 43, and 28 saves from 2007 to 2011 before being injured and having to leave, be out of baseball after Tommy John surgery. 1-2, and that is a foul ball.
Well, you can see in this at bat what he typically does with Kyle Seager hitting. He's seen everything that he has. And Kyle having to protect late on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, the best fastball we've seen from Soria so far. That pitch in the middle of the plate, and Kyle was a little bit late just because of all the other pitches that he has.
One, 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Ooh, that slow curveball, 68 miles an hour.
Two to Kyle. To the shortstop, Elvis Andrews. 2 away. And that'll leave it up to Robinson Cano. 0 for 3 tonight. Well, at Kings Court, they've seen their guy give it everything he had, hoping for Cano maybe to tie it up with one swing here. Cano with his first Mariner home run here at Safeco Field on Wednesday night in a 4-2 loss to the Yankees.
Snyder, the first baseman, right on the line. The outfielders all playing right in front of the warning track, trying to take the double away.
Strike 1. Started tonight, the leading hitter in the American League. 0 for 9 career against Joaquin Soria. Oh, dribbler. Soria. And that's the ball game. What a heartbreaker for Felix and the Mariners to lose here this evening. 1-0 the final, as Texas wins for just the second time in its last 5 games, and the Mariner losing streak extends to 4.
And we thought the big key in this one was for Felix to go out and pick the Mariners up and pitch well, give the offense a chance to get on track. Well, Felix held up his end, but unfortunately the Mariners and their offense only able to get 2 hits tonight, both hits going to Mike Zunino. So they'll have to try to get things worked out, come back tomorrow, see if they can get themselves a win and get this homestand turned around.
By today's standards, that game played at a very brisk 2 hours and 30 minutes. Tollefson gets the win, Felix the loss, 8-2, and Soria's 14th save. Tough ball game. Game 2 tomorrow night. Right now, Mariner post game begins right now with Brad and Bill.
Gentlemen, thank you. Yeah, 4 straight. That one a heartbreaker. Felix Hernandez has now lost 8 consecutive starts to the Rangers. That's hard for me to believe, and hard for me to believe with how well he pitched tonight that he ended up getting that loss.
Tremendous performance. I mean, he really changed his pattern through a lot of slow stuff, used his fastball late, slow stuff early, fastball late, really had the Rangers confused. He was brilliant tonight.
And I like him going out in that 9th inning. I don't know if there's a conversation or not with Lloyd McClendon, the skipper, but he goes out in the 9th. Here's how it kind of unfolded. Our Bruce Titus Automotive Group game recap, how the Rangers scratch across their 1 run. All right, so Michael Choice leading off, 9th inning. Felix coming back and just dealing all game long. Choice strikes out. Andrus singles up the middle.
He's a thorn in the side. He hits 300 off Felix, and he is a player that makes things happen. Steals the base, and he can really force the action.
Yeah, Zunino couldn't handle that, so walk to Chu, steal first and third. Felix out, and here's the play. The Miller, nice turn, and Cano just couldn't quite complete it. And Elvis was able to score from third, and Felix knows it. Beltre able to get the second on the E4. I don't know if he beats that out or not, but almost an inning double play. I mean, to lose like that, it hurts.
It's heartbreaking that the game couldn't be extended, but at the end of the day, Brad, you don't win if you don't score. True. And that doesn't mean you have to put up 6 or 7 in a game like this, but when you have chances, you have to score.
Just 2 hits for the Mariners, both again by Mike Zunino. We will talk with another Mike Flowers, coming up after the break. As Beltre and Ron Washington able to celebrate, Mariners lose their 4th straight, 1-0 here tonight.